Hiya, I'm Ruru or Roo. Um, that's not my real name, it's one of my nicknames. My real name means friend, and that's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be everybody's friend. And it doesn't always work out, and in my past it's caused me pain because I try and befriend the wrong kind of people and help the wrong people who take advantage and upset me or cause me pain or stab me in the back. But here I am, and I'm deciding to make these videos to post on my YouTube channel because my son uses it and has uploaded stuff, and I was going to do it. And until you get so many followers, I can't do lives. So I will continue doing my lives on my other social media networks, but I'm going to start building up little lives or little videos on here to try and get a following because I am what I would like to call, or what most people like to call me, a dolie or a benefit scrounger or a mentally ill person who stays on benefits because I'm not able to work because of my mental health problems. Although I've been fighting and struggling with them all my life, I've also had a lot of trauma in my life and my past because of my mental health problem and because of the way society made parents and families live and coexist, and it didn't agree with my, I don't know, my stability, my emotional um state of being. I'm bipolar, I'm dyslexic, I was held back at school because of it. I have been penalised, brutalised, bullied, teased, tormented, ridiculed constantly still. I post things on social media and I keep getting picked on because I have spelling mistakes in them, because even though I try and use autocorrect, it uses the wrong word, or I spell it once 1 minute and the next minute it's not spelled right, but my brain can't notice that I've spelled it wrong, or I'm very excited about what I'm trying to write about and I can't edit myself. I'm quite calm today because I've had a bit of a week, had a lot of personal stuff going on. I'm currently dealing with a new project, which is what I've always done, even though I've been unemployed. And people say, "Oh my God, you don't work, you don't do anything. How do you survive?" I help people. I try and create community. I've been unemployed. When you're on benefits, you have to have a network of friends who help you, and you each help each other out on payday when you can, and when you can't, you rely on each other. You support each other, or you're meant to. I've always done that. I am a very spiritual person, and I have gone down the route of witchcraft and have been a solitary witch for about 25 years now. And I do that of my own accord for my own well-being and mental health. I do my tarot cards and I use crystals and I make herbal remedies and try and make myself feel better in that way again, because I'm unemployed and I can't afford expensive medicine, and I can't afford to eat great food as much as I'd like to, because, healthy food is expensive. So I forage for it and find free food, and I make the most of what I get, and I share what I know, and that's what I'm about. This is what this channel is about, is me and my children, sharing what we love, what we do, who we are, trying to make people understand that we all need to love each other a bit more and share what we know, because the more we share and the more we know, the better we all are and the happier we all are. And my whole life is about that, is supporting people, understanding people, meeting new people, giving people ways to make their life easier. That is what I do in my life. Um, I've learned to cope with a lot of trauma, and then you learn how to help yourself, heal yourself, educate yourself. Because when you are told that you're incompetent or you're never going to amount to anything because of your learning difficulty or your inability to keep up with your peers all your life, you don't end up trusting the system. And I haven't trusted the system that's always treated me badly because I'm on benefits and I can't get a job. And it's not my fault. I'm nervous and I'm not good with new people, so I don't interview well. I can research as much as I like about a company, and I can make myself look good on a CV, if I take the time to do the work. It's hard for me to do written work, but I love the written word and I know how powerful it can be. And this is how I know media and videos and lives are powerful, and I use them online. And I try and share what I've learned. And because I'm a witch and I've researched all of that, there's loads of techniques in witchcraft. That's why witches were killed at the stake. That's why men belittled our power as women, because we had more power and we had knowledge, because we went with the ebb and flow of nature and we understood that if you take from it, you have to give back to it and look after it. My current project is a community garden. And again, that ties in with my witchy woo woo stuff and my survivalism or my connection with nature and being resourceful, because there was a garden sitting there not being used that had been what I would call abandoned. And during the pandemic, we were not in our home because we ended up being stuck at my partner's, and it was there not being looked after. So I tidied it up and looked after it. And that is my current project at the minute. I've got a couple of days and we're having a group meeting to try and gain access into this garden. And that's my current project, because when you're unemployed, you need a goal, you need a purpose, you need to do something. So my witchcraft kept me going, researching, learning, doing rituals, helping myself. It's also communing with the universe or the higher power. And I definitely believe that there is one. And I also believe, and I tried to go down the Christianity route, but because of my the way I process things, because of my dyslexia and other things, I question everything. I question teachers, I questioned pastors, and they don't like that. You have to believe what they tell you, and if you don't believe everything they tell you, they don't like you and they won't train you and they won't welcome you in their little circle. And I worked for a church for like nearly 2 years, every day, or every Sunday, morning, noon, and night. I helped impact and bring people in. They used me because I was pretty. They put me in the front of the bus that went around to hostels and universities to collect up waifs and strays and bring them into church because I looked pretty, and young men would get in the van and come to church. But then they would keep me away from all these young men. And I knew what they were doing, and I was happy to help because I believed in the higher power, although I didn't always believe in the way that they did things. And most churches and organised religious groups are businesses, essentially. They have to earn a money, they have to pay their bills, they have to pay their pastors and their staff, and they have running costs. But I disagree with the way a lot of them are run. And I tried to point out, quoting the Bible back at them, that Jesus wasn't happy with it. So why are you doing it? You're not allowed to be like that in a church. That's not how it's done. So I got outed from most churches and I got told I was a sinner and blah blah blah, I had the devil in me, and oh, tell me something I don't know. We all have the good and bad in us, okay? So I'm a witch now. I focused more on that. They told me that was wrong as well. I mean, how can aromatherapy and the use of medical or plants to help ail you be bad? It's not. I also have joined this company Reminiscence, and I'm trying to sell products that are eco-friendly and vegan, because I'm at that age in my life now. I want to put something good in my system, and I'm hoping that they're probiotic healthy shots, which is basically witchy woo woo fruity shoot thing, or veggie mineral shake, is going to give me the boost that will help me do this fight I'm trying to fight with the garden. Like I said, I'm trying to do this garden and they've made me jump through hoops. They call me a criminal for doing the work that they couldn't do. They abandoned the garden. No one took it on. It's been empty. It's been a garden for about 17 years and it needs to remain a garden because there's so many flats in the surrounding area and it's in the middle of the city centre, and that people nearby need a garden or need a space to go. And I want to open that space and I want to show people how to use the medicinal plants in that garden. And I want to show them how to grow food, and just a few plants could really help their diet and make them better. Being in the garden helped my well-being and my mental health. And talking and meeting people outside during the pandemic meant that I could actually talk and meet people when they were trying to terrify us all and scare us to death. Let's not get into that one, but yeah, I've got lots of issues about the whole pandemic and conspiracy theory nut job I am. I'm a crazy lady, and I'm diagnosed a crazy lady. I've got bipolar type 2, but I think it's type 1. But you know, they won't they're now telling me that I've got emotional stability disorder or emotional instability, which basically means I'm over emotional, and because of all the trauma in my life, I'm unpredictable with my emotions. I'm not telling you stuff and I don't know. I've been trying to tell you lot that for like 15 years, and I've been dealing with something that should be treated with medication, a chemical imbalance, my bipolar, and I've been coping without medication because every time they give me medication, it's the wrong kind because they see me when one of my family members has dragged me in because they can't deal with me crying and wanting to kill myself anymore, that they drag me in, or they drag me in there because I'm bouncing off the walls and acting like a god, and they can't handle me when I'm like that either, so they drag me in to see the doctors or the mental health people, so then they give me something to sedate me and calm me down, which then stops me from functioning at all. And I believe that the reason I have never had proper or medical treatment properly, given the right medication, is because I've never had a paid job in my life. I've been a dolly and a benefit cruncher, and they think that I do that because I'm lazy, and I do that because of my mental health problem and because people judge me because of it, and they don't give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm quite an intelligent woman actually, because school system let me down. There was only a few teachers who realised my potential and actually taught me and told me that I could do whatever I wanted if I put my mind to it. And I believe that, and I always have. I've had to go against my own family who didn't believe in me and didn't support me, which is where some of my trauma comes from. And I had to learn to love myself and rescue myself from bad relationships because I've always been searching for this connection and this community, and I can't find it. It isn't there, is it? Where is our community? I try to do it in churches. I try and form community groups in whatever dodgy council estate place that they dump me in to live in next, and they keep removing me around the city that I grew up, and they now put me where I grew up in, again, near my family, because they've realised if I'm near my family, I'm a bit more calm. Anyway, so I've now got 2 children, which helped save me and make me realise that I had to work on my. I used to just let my emotions go, and I used to just live life to the max and just say, oh, and I'll do whatever I like when I like, and I'll let my emotions rule me, and I'll just go with the flow. And that's all well and being when you're a normal person, but when you have emotions that go whoop and whoop and whoop, 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 10 times, 20 times a day, you end up doing really crazy things that are probably not really good for you. Anyway, so my life has been very cram packed with lots of stuff. Narcissistic boyfriends, drugs, drink. I hold my hands up. I am an alcoholic. I am a drug addict. I am addicted to sex. I'm addicted to Coca-Cola. I'm addicted to nicotine. I'm also addicted to learning new things. I'm addicted to friendships and helping people. I'm addicted to, I don't know, so many things. I clearly have an addictive personality, and I think that's part of my bipolar and my emotional instability and my need for learning and passion. That's what life's about, I think. So I'm a bit waffling on too long now. It's like nearly 15 minutes long, so I'm going to try and end it because I'm always making lives and people don't watch them because they're too long. So this is my sort of hello, this is me kind of blurb. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to try and get followers on YouTube because my brilliant man, friend, brother from another mother, Russell Brand, God love him, he's contacted me and he has made me one of his little fan people. So because I comment good comments and I follow him, and I I got contacted by his team to tell them about me because of some of my comments, and he's now watching me because he knows that I've learnt from him, and I'm struggling, but I'm doing good in this world, and the world needs more people like that. So he's going to try and support me, and I'm going to continue to support what he does because he's all into my crazy conspiracy theories. The main one being this whole COVID hoodwink that everyone is believing that, oh, it's an accident or it was bats or it was nature. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. And I've said this all along. The government, America mainly, and the big corporations and well, even our probably country agree to it. Let's face it, we get hoodwinked by America's multi-power whatnot and everything, and they know that there are too many people on our planet. They know that we haven't got enough resources to carry on living the way we are. And instead of dealing with the global warming crisis, and they've decided that we'll kill people off instead, like me with mental health problems, or the elderly that don't put into the system, and we'll get rid of the weak and the people who drain our society by making a virus that will kill them. And that's what happened. They killed the elderly, the disabled, mentally ill people it affected. The pandemic and the lock-ins that went alongside the virus also then made the weak weaker and the vulnerable more vulnerable. And it's all about fear and control and manipulating the world. And instead of getting closer like we should have done when we were all clapping hands for the NHS every week, we were getting closer, and they didn't like it. And they didn't want that. They didn't want us meeting in the gardens and having parties. Okay, they were all having parties in the Parliament House and getting away with it, right? But we weren't allowed to even do it outside in public. People were getting arrested, for heaven's sake, for being in the gardens together. And that's why they didn't want me to do this garden during the pandemic, because I was making people get out of their homes and learn how to feed themselves. I was giving food away that I was growing of my benefit money, mine and my children's benefit money. We were buying stuff and growing it and giving it away to people who passed by. And I got rid of the druggies, and I literally threatened them with the pitchfork. I literally said, have I dobbed you into the police when you're not meant to be out and about? Have I moaned about what you do? But I will if you do it in my garden, or our garden is what I call it. It's our garden. It's a community garden. And the local council said, no, I was a criminal. I'm like, no, actually, I did their job for them. I cleaned it. I got rid of the sharps and the needles and the druggies shooting up. I got rid of the alcoholics most of the time when I was in there. I tidied up all the mess so they didn't have to, and I did. I kept it tidy. And then when I eventually realised whose property it was and tried to do it legally and above board, I got told I was a criminal for even being in there. I shouldn't be in the garden. I was trespassing and I was a criminal, and they don't want it to be a garden anymore. They want to sell it off because it's prime real estate. But there's no way they can build on that garden, because the amount of work they would have to do to get rid of the existing plants and trees that are in it, remove all the muck, and then rebuild or build on it. And they can't put flats there because there's enough flats all the way around it with no garden space. So the only logical reason is to get someone mad enough to look after it like me and do their job for them, right? So they want me to do it, really, but instead of making it easy for me, they're making me jump through all these legal, legitimate hoops. I've made a brilliant constitution and essentially a business plan and a business ethos and a description on how I want it to move forward. But because it was so ironclad and businesslike, they now realise who they're dealing with and that I am not an idiot, and that it was ironclad and I knew what I was doing. So they've now said, no, I was too good. Well, they didn't say it was too good, but basically that's what they were saying. No, you need to use our crappy one from our website, and you need to do it our way. And they're just trying to slow us down and stop us from getting people to do it. But there are people to do it. And the minute I get back in there again, there's no way they're getting me out, which is why they don't want to let me in. But I will get let in. And hashtag let us back in. There's a group on Facebook as well, but if you just hashtag let us get in or free our garden, you'll find us, or find me, because that's what I'm trying to do, the garden. I'm also training to be a counsellor. I look after my 2 kids, and I'm trying to teach them how to deal with their trauma from their past, our past, and what I do to them with my mental health. Well, I don't mean to, but it does affect them, right? It's naive to think it doesn't when I'm emotionally unstable. And I get triggered by things from my past, and so do they, because they had not a great beginning in life. And I've gone over, look, and it's now nearly 20 minutes. There's so much to tell you about myself, but the main thing is my garden and my conspiracy theories and the fact that I'm a witchy woo-woo, and I love people and I want to help people, and I try my best to do good in this world. I might not be paid to do a job, but I have worked, and I've worked in the system on all these government funded training schemes and done work experience placements and I've got qualifications and then more knowledge because I sit and read books and I educate myself and I learn and I deal with my own mental health because I didn't get the support from the government because they did what help people with mental health problems and they haven't put any money into the system, even though even more people need help now because of the pandemic, because they don't want us to survive and live. Okay, so we need to help each other. Okay, the time is now. The world is changing. It's defunct. We need to save our planet. We need to be more ecologically sound and wise. We need to be careful what we eat and what we do with our resources. We need to help each other out because none of us can afford to live properly. So we need to help each other out as much as we can. And that is what I'm about. That's what I've always been about. That's what I will always be about. And that's why they don't want me mentally well, because they know I've learned enough about their fraudulent ways, their corruption, their lies, their deceit. I've been in their system and I've seen how they run it. They taught me when I was 17 years old to lie on government funded programs. I was getting paid my benefit money to be fraudulent, to lie, to commit crimes so that the training services got their money, so the government gave people their benefit money. And if I didn't help them lie, no one got their money. So at an early age, I was taught to be fraudulent in business and in companies. Well, I don't agree in that. And my community group will be all about if you work, you get money. If you work, you get food. If you help, you get something. If you need it, and we have it, we will give it to you or tell you where to get it from. Okay, it's about helping each other. If you help the garden, we will help you as a garden, as a group. Okay, if you put in, we will let you take out. That's how the system should work. You do work, you earn rewards. You don't do the work, you don't get jack. That's how it works. That's how it works in real life, people, by the way. All right, unless you're super rich, right, or unless you're like me, you're on the system. But I will say this one thing about me being on benefits. My nanny and my granddad worked and survived the wars. They helped the system. They helped our country. What did they get? What did my granddad get? A dodgy gangrene leg and no support when he left home. He lost his farm. He lost his livelihood. His marriage was funked. His friendships were funked because they all died or then couldn't talk to him anymore because of PTSD. Did they get help from that? Did they? Likely? No. They're meant to be our heroes, our army men. Are they treated like that? No. Most of them are on the streets, homeless, begging. Alcohol problems, PTSD, not getting the support that they need. The whole system stinks, quite frankly. But my mum and my dad have worked. My mum worked herself to death until she had an accident and then she couldn't work. She physically hurt herself. She got mugged off and didn't get the compensation she'd need. And her life, her accident impacted our whole childhood. If my back's okay, if I'm okay, I'll do this. She was in constant pain her whole life and couldn't do things with us as kids, right? Her whole life was affected by this accident at work because some idiot didn't tidy up a mess and she slipped on it. Completely crippled her, right? In pain for the rest of her life. It's completely detrimented her life and impacted all our lives. She couldn't work then, so we didn't have two working adults in our family. We were skint all our lives. And the marriage broke up because of the pain and the misery my mother went through. My dad couldn't handle it because most people don't know how to handle that kind of thing. Were they given support and help? No. So my family has worked all their life. My mum, my dad, my granddad, my nanny, all my other siblings work. Okay, until my other sibling, he's got mental health problems too. A couple of them have, and he's now really bad and he can't work either. God love him. But they've all put into the system. I'm the only one who sits on my butt on benefits, and I do it because I'm also a conspiracy theorist. And I think, well, actually, hold on a minute. If we add up my mum, my dad, my granddad, my nanny, my brothers, my sisters, my other brother, and the amount of work and amount of money they put into the system, I think they paid my share, to be fair. So I am going to sit on the benefits and raise my children to be better people in this world. I am going to help people because I can't help people while I'm working and being a multi-millionairess, all right, and doing all these investments and making money, which I could do if I actually put my energies into being all the things that I wanted to be as a kid, and if I actually published my work and my books and did all my crafts and pushed myself, I could make probably a lot of money. But I don't do that because I want to talk. I want to communicate. I want to heal this world one person at a time. I want to share the knowledge that I've learned being unemployed and and having to find ways of heating my house without being able to put money in the meter, without tea lights, by the way. It's my nugget of advice. Tea lights. Use candles, tea lights. Don't put your heating on. Put some tea lights around your flat. If you can afford or have clay pots or terracotta pots, put them above. Terracotta pots have a hole in them, right? Plant pots. And if you turn them upside down, the hole is in at the top. So the flame or the smoke from the candle goes out. You've still got enough oxygen to keep the tea light alive. And the heat remains in the clay or in the terracotta pot. So the heat from the candle, right, then keeps in the pot and it heats your room. 5 or 6 candles, right? 4 to 6 candles, right? In an average sized room on your mantelpiece or on your windowsill or whatever, it will heat your room. It won't help in the, well, it will help in the freezing cold weather, but in the meantime, in this autumn period, before you have to turn the heating on, cope with your hot water bottles. Use your tea lights, all right? Honestly, it will save you a fortune. Pound shop, a couple of bags of tea lights, right? Couple of terracotta pots or your little burners, right? So you smell nice as well using your candles, right? And it'll heat your room up and keep you warm, okay? That's a brilliant tip. That's one of my best ones, actually. Save your water from your bath. Don't waste it. Use it for your plants. You're washing up water. Your vegetable water is brilliant for plants, actually. Don't throw that stuff away. It's got minerals and stuff in it from you boiling your vegetables too much. And all that goodness that you've just boiled out of your vegetables that you then don't eat. You should drink it in with smoothies or give it to your plants and they grow better. Trust me. I've got loads of nuggets and I will share lots more with you over the coming days or weeks. This is now too long and they might not let me upload this long video. I'm sorry it's too long. I'm a waffler. But it's all good. And I just wanted to introduce me a bit and start doing a YouTube channel because I'm pretty sure that I will get blocked and locked off my other social media networks for what I say. Some of the things that I might say about my controversial ideas will probably get silenced eventually once I get enough followers. So please, if you like me and you're prepared to listen to my waffles, I will try and keep them under half an hour long for you. And that's an episode of a TV program to support someone you like and learn decent tips and tricks. I gave you at least a couple there and you learn a little bit about me, and I will try and give you a decent tip every time I see it, or I'll do a tarot reading, or I will teach you a spell we can do meditations together. Russell Brand has been teaching me how to do meditations, and meditations have helped my mental health. Not just him, other people I get meditations from. I learn lots of things from my witchcraft and that from lots of different teachers. And I've always learned that if you learn something, that you should share it, okay? In witchcraft, that doesn't happen. And in religious studies, that doesn't happen. People always expect you to pay for the privilege to learn something. And you have to pay to listen to the word of God these days. Do you know what I mean? They expect you to tithe, or they expect you to pay for a DVD copy of what you've just heard, for goodness sake. Well, I would rather be poor on benefits knowing that I'm helping people than become a bloody millionaire. I'm not joking. I would rather live in an eco community, which one day I will build. That is my mission. I am going to build a community where if you work, just like the garden that I'm trying to open, the community garden, but I will build a homestead and it'll be all eco stuff and it'll all be like technology to help support a sustainable living life, to support ourselves and what we make and grow and need to live. And it will all be created and made from natural resources and some technology, because you know we need some of it, but we don't like to control it. You control us. Use it to your benefit, not to your detriment. Peace out, people. I love you. Thank you for sticking with me for nearly half an hour and listening to my hello introductory offer on my first proper YouTube video. And I hope that this is the beginning of a great thing to come, because I'm taking my leaf from Russell. I need to have a social media presence more than just my personal profiles. So here it is. There's a picture of my emotional support dragon that I knitted, another one of my talents. I'm a knitter, and he's my little mascot man. You'll see him with me wherever I go, and it's also my son and my daughter's profile because they love YouTube and they watch that more than TV. They don't watch normal terrestrial TV. We don't have a TV license. We don't watch TV. We watch Netflix and we watch movies and we watch YouTube. So we're awoken people. So welcome to our channel, and I am going now. Peace and love to you all, or live long and prosper and all that jazz. Okay, one love.